Hello and welcome to Friday Art with me, Cate Field, artist, teacher and speaker and tea lover. How are you? The summer has arrived in Dorset and it is really hot. I'm not complaining, I live by the sea. I hope you are well. Welcome to new people. How lovely to see you, and welcome back to you lovely people who have been with me for a while. Now, in this week's Friday Art, we're going to explore collagraphic printing. Now, you may well know what a collagraph is, but I suspect that some of you might not. It's not a word that pops up frequently in everyday conversation, is it? No, it isn't. So, what's a collagraph? So, a collagraph is something that is three-dimensional, but only just, sort of like a relief sculpture. And there's some images going across your page now. And what we're going to do is use these as stamps for printing. And we're going to be using the gel plate for some of them. And then we're going to be using them printing onto paper without a gel plate. So there's going to be a bit of a mixture. And the lovely thing about a collagraph print is that it's going to be totally unique to you because you are going to be using bits and pieces that you've got lying around. You know me. Those of you who have been with me for a while know that I love using recycled stuff, upcycled stuff, bits of cardboard, old things that are lying around that I think, do I throw that away? No, because I might use it. Because you never know, do you? So the other lovely thing about doing a collagraphic print is obviously you can have a repeated pattern because you can use your stamp over and over again. But the actual stamp itself becomes a work of art, as you will see at the end. So are you ready? Let's go. So what are we going to need? Oh, it's brilliant. All sorts of bits and pieces that most people would throw away. So, bits of cardboard, egg carton, rolls, those sort of bag things that you get fruit in, stronger bits of cardboard, and corrugated cardboard, bits of packaging from tablets, some buttons I'm using. I found an old key. I know that I kind of picked it up from somewhere and thought that'd be nice. I use that for something. Some toothpicks, all sorts of stuff. And as we go, you'll see how we can use these in lots and lots of different ways. But you're going to start off by we're going to make a basic square or rectangle actually as our starting base, and you're going to need some strong glue. Now I use PVA glue, white glue, and I water it down to 2/3 to 1/3. So 2/3 glue, 1/3 water, and then I put it into a little bottle like this. These are like the travel ones that you're supposed to put shampoo in and things like that to go on holiday. It's perfect. Works really, really well. So we're going to use that. Now, the size of the collagraphic plate is entirely up to you. There is no kind of standard size. You make it whatever size you want. So you could measure things if you wanted to. I am not going to. I'm just going to create some rectangle shapes for my first lot of plates, and then just see where we go from there. So they're quite small. So you start off quite small, but obviously when you get the hang of it, you just start, whatever you want. I'm going to put that there. So what we're going to do, on our piece of cardboard, we are going to put some glue. So again, I have watered this down. You'll kind of work out how much you need. You are going to need quite a bit for most things to stick on, because we're going to be using this plate to print with, and you don't want it to fall apart the first time you use it, because that'd be really frustrating. I'm going to start this, and we're going to start with just a very simple relief using cardboard. I'm going to pop that on there. Now the key with a Collagraphic plate is that the things that you stick onto it need to be about the same sort of height, just within a couple of millimeters or so, because if we have anything that's too fat, then that will come out. This is an ice lolly stick. I'm going to put it down, and you need to kind of squish this down quite hard. Just give it a little moment to stick. I'm going to put a bit more of the corrugated. You could screw up the cardboard to get different types of effects. See, just putting that on there. But the idea is that you are going to cover this space. I think I'm going to put a button. Let's just put that there. Stick that one on. And I did have some straws somewhere. Oh, here they go. Yep. Got plastic straws that we don't use anymore because they're not very environmentally friendly. But these are ones that I had left over. So I thought, right, I will use them on my plate. Sort of put that one in there. So you can see I'm just sort of putting these all on like that. What I'm then going to do is to put this plate onto a bit of plastic so that the glue doesn't stick to the paper. Actually, I think I might just leave that one there, and then I'm going to get another one. So you're going to make quite a few of these, and the more you do, the more you kind of have an understanding of what could be really interesting. See, I'm thinking that way up could be good. With this, so I'll go back to this one. I think we might need a bit more glue. You are going to need a lot of glue. Now these will take a long time to dry. They will take 24 hours to dry, and I really encourage you to leave them to dry for that long, and I'll show you in a minute what happens when you do leave it to dry with a lot of glue. There we go. Just squish that one down there. Let's have a look at these ones that I did a few days ago. And you can see that it's really stuck down. And with something like this, where I've cut up the roll, you need to have quite a bit of glue to stick it down, and then you need to leave it to dry properly. So we're going to do that. Let's do another one. Well, I hope you're well. I've gone down with a bit of a cold, which is really annoying because it's the summer. So my apologies if I'm a bit snivelly and a little bit croaky. There we go. Let's just pop that one on there. But I really love doing this sort of printing. And when you start to put different elements into the plate, again, you are going to need quite a bit of sticky on there. You can get some, such interesting shapes and textures and lines. I'll use a bit of string. Again, you're going to need quite a bit of glue to make sure that the string stays where you want it to. Just put that there. Oh, thank you for all your lovely comments. Really do appreciate them, and I read every single one. It's lovely. I love hearing the weather updates.
really like that. We were due to have a storm last night, but I think we missed, well, we certainly didn't have it here. I think other parts of the UK did have some quite dramatic summer storms. Let's just put that one there. So I'm going to leave that one, and you can always add to it. So what we're going to do is create a whole series. Right, I will show you some of these that I've done as well. Strips of cardboard, paper clips, sort of putting those on there. And then when they are completely dry, that is when you can use them for prints. Now, the other thing that you can do, if you have got things that are sticking up, you can cover the whole thing with some tissue paper, and that's what I'm going to do for the next one. I've got my other piece here. Let's just move that down a little bit. I'm going to put some string on like that, and I've got my cardboard tube, and I'm going to cut it into quite narrow strips, and I'm going to place them onto the plate. So you can do them in various different ways. And the other thing that you can do, one of the things I quite like to do, is use an egg carton. Just going to snip the end off and use these. Again, we are going to need to use quite a bit of glue to hold things down. There we go. Put that on there. I'm going to use scissors and tearing to get these ideas and these shapes. And I'm going to use a little bit of this, a little bit of the netting. And when we start to print with this, obviously some of these are going to come out more defined than others, and that's fine, because that's what makes it interesting. So I'm just going to put another bit of cardboard on there like that. Right, what I'm going to do now is to cover the whole lot in a bit of rice paper. You could use tissue paper, something very thin. You could even use something like a paper towel. That would work as well. You have to work quickly because it will disintegrate very quickly. Just going to screw it up a little bit. Place it over the top like this. A little bit more glue over the top, and then just put it in. Doesn't matter if the paper tears, because the tearing will again add to the interesting shapes that you get. Now you just have to work this a little bit. I've just added a bit of water to the tissue just to make it very soggy. You see, it is breaking up. That's okay, because the texture of the tissue will also work really, really well. And I'm just going to leave that to dry, and it will take a long time to dry. But when it dries, you'll see that the paper just sort of clings to the shape and holds things together. And I'm just looking at this. I've used little bits of foam here as well. Oh, all sorts of things can be used. So the idea is that you're going to create maybe 6 or 7 or 8 plates. They're all going to be different, and you're going to use them. Let's just get that one as well for printing, and that's going to be the next thing we do. Now you can use different sorts of paint. I'm going to be using acrylic. You could also use poster paint. I'm going to use some poster paint a little bit later. The acrylic obviously has kind of more pigmentation and you might get a better result, but just try out different things. Now the other thing I'm going to use is a painting and decorating roller. This is just a foam one. And I'm also going to use a painting and decorator brush. This is quite soft. So let's get our first things ready. Our first sort of plates, I'm going to put them here that I'm going to use. When we're printing onto paper, there we go, I'm going to use a whole variety of different paper as well. So this is just newsprint, very, very cheap. Rice paper or tissue paper, copier paper. Just try different things and see what happens. This is the joy, isn't it? The absolute joy. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to get, so already made a mess. Of course I have. Of course I have. I'm just going to put a bit of paint on here. Then I've got paint there to just rub that on there. No water at this point, and I'm just going to put the paint, let's put that there, on to the plate, and you can see that it just goes on the raised bits, and we're just going to do our first print and see what it looks like. And the lovely thing about printing is you're never quite sure. I'm just going to lay it down there and press. Lift that one up and see what we get. So that's very, very subtle, which is quite interesting. It's going to add a little bit of the yellow. So put that on there. And you're just going to have a bit of a play with it all and see what happens. Press it down, lift it up. You can see you're going to get this sort of textured pattern. Let's move that there. Which, you know, is quite interesting. But what's going to happen is the more you do, the more kind of variety you will see, and the more ideas you'll have. So I was going to do that. Now let's just put a bit more on this one. Again, I'm just covering the this just bit of newsprint paper, and I'm quite liking this as a background. I think that could be quite interesting here. I'm just sort of doing this repeated print across the whole thing. Do a few, then I'll put some more paint over the top. I am going to get mucky on this because I always get mucky. Let's just do that. And this is quite interesting. I'm going to leave that to dry. I'm going to get another piece of paper. I'm going to get my tissue paper, and I'm going to get my other piece. Let's just get that there. Here. I'm sticking with this sort of orange at the moment. And we're just going to see what this one looks like. See, this is quite interesting, isn't it? And if you've already got some collage papers, see what happens when you print on top of some of your collage papers. I'm going to do that in a moment, but I just wanted to show you this technique because I just think it's really interesting. Some really, really exciting things can happen. Let's just do a little bit more on there. You don't have to use a sponge. You could use a paintbrush. Let's do that. Yeah, I am liking that one. So let's have a go at another one. Now this time I'm going to add some black, so you'll be able to see it very, very clearly. And I'm going to take this one, which I think has quite an interesting texture. So it'd be quite interesting to see how this comes out. Let's just put the black over the top of that. And then I'm going to go on top of this one. Just press that one down, lift it up. I'm going to get some quite interesting abstract shapes from this one, which is quite fun. So I hope straight away you're thinking, oh, that looks fun, if messy. It is a bit messy, but I quite like messy. See, these are really interesting. So yeah, I'm just going to pop these here because I hope you can also see what is happening with the actual plates and how exciting they are beginning to look. Let's have a look at this one. This is the one that's got the tissue paper on it. I'm going to do black again. Let's just get this one here and just see what happens with this one. This is going to have a different type of effect. Now, obviously, what we're doing here is we are using these Collagraph plates. Oh no, that needs a bit more of a push. As stamps, so interesting textures there, which is lovely, and you can do all sorts of things with this. But the next thing I'm going to do is to show you how I use these with my jelly plate, and that's when things start to get very exciting. I'm just going to do another. I'm really liking this one, actually. I like it very much. And as always in my lessons, I'm encouraging you to play. You know, don't worry about things going wrong or things being a mess, because this is a bit of a mess at the minute. But you know, that's okay. Bit of a mess is all right. Now I am going to leave these ones with the colours on them just to dry a little bit, and they're acrylic, so it's fine. I'll be able to put different colours on the top. So I've got my jelly plate, and I'm just going to be using photocopier paper. You could use all sorts of different paper for this. I'm just going to put some acrylic paint onto the plate. Just going to keep it to one colour for the moment. Again, don't put too much on. Just going to put that on there. Then I'm going to take this one that I haven't used before, and I'm just going to press it into the plate like that. I lift it up. I'm going to got that mark there. So I'm going to put another one down on that side there, and then I'm going to put that bit at the top. Press it down, and then one there, like that. Then I'm going to lay the piece down, just gently press that in and see what we get. Let's pull that off. Ah, now look at that. That is very interesting. That's creating quite an interesting background there, isn't it? Loving that. Okay, I'm going to leave that on there. I'm going to do just a bit of a rub, because I like the idea of multiple layers. So I'm going to get my yellow. I'm going to put a bit of yellow on here. Again, have it quite thin. You can see the red coming through. And now I'm going to use this one that I used earlier with the sticks. So I really did like that. Just do a few more there. And then this top bit here, I'm going to use this one with the straws. Pressing down like that. I'm just going to put my paper on. I'm liking that one. Look at that. So straight away you can start to see, yes. Well, I hope you are. I hope you're getting lots of ideas of what you might like to do. I'm going to leave these bits to dry and then I'm going to play with a few more. So I've put in some black. I'm going to take this straw one again. Turn it around the other way this time. Just pressing it into the gel plate. You won't be able to see it too clearly because of the black, but you'll see what happens. I'm just going to put some of these in. You can do sort of yeah, that is what happens sometimes, but that's okay. It's going to take just very lightly across there. And you're going to get this sort of effect. And I will use that as a background and print some other colours on top of it. But I want to pick up this second print because that will be very interesting as well. Carefully pull that, and it's picking up the other colours that were on the plate, and I really do like that. Again, I can see how these sorts of collage papers are coming together. So I am going to be using all of these. I might have to stick that one. I just didn't put enough glue on that one. It's what happens, but that's okay. Let's just keep to this sort of black and red idea. It's a little bit here. Obviously, you choose whatever colours you want. I'm going to do a few like this, and then I'm going to go back to my lovely fluorescence, because I do like that. And I think doing a fluorescent print onto a background like this, for example, would, it could look really, really interesting and really quite exciting. I'm going to carry on with this one, as I do like that idea. Seeing that in a kind of quite random way. So I've got that one all set, and then I wanted to pick up with this one and see how that would work. Press that in. Some things are going to work better than others, because you never really know. And that is one of the joys, of course. Let's just pop that there. Well, that is very interesting, isn't it? Look at that combination, and sort of picking up on where the corrugated cardboard was, little subtle bits where the paper clips have been picked up a little bit there as well. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can get another print from this one. Let's just do maybe half of it. Again, I'm just using copier paper. There we go. Yeah, I like that. That's got some real subtlety about it that I like very much. So let's just see what happens. I love that. What happens? What would happen if? They are my favourite sorts of questions. I'm going to add a bit of white. Let's just put that there. There we go. Oh, that's doing its own thing. Let's just put a bit of white over the top. It's picking up various bits that have been previously on the plate, and that's okay. Press that down. Obviously, the more you use your plates, the more likely they are to disintegrate, which is why it is really important that you use strong glue. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this one, and put that over the top. And see what that comes out like. And you're going to get this kind of, again, this very interesting textures coming through. And then I'm going to pop that one on the top to get that one. I quite often like my second prints. When the second pull, you can get some very, very interesting shapes. So have a play, try lots of ideas. If you're in the Facebook group, you could show me what you've been doing. If you haven't joined it yet and you'd like to, you're very, very welcome. Please answer the questions and agree to the rules. It just means that I can avoid bots and trolls and that sort of unpleasant thing. But the Facebook group is so friendly. It's a very, very friendly space. Share your ideas, ask questions. So pop in the comments what you would like to be, what you'd like to do, what you're going to use in your Collagraph print, how you're going to use it, what you're going to do with your papers, you know, all of that lovely stuff. Let's see what this one comes out like. There we go. Yeah, I'm liking that as well. This is becoming very interesting. Now, I hope you are seeing that these pieces are totally original. And this is the joy of creating your own plates, because nobody else will have one like yours. And it's, you know, it's nice to buy stamps, and you know, you can create lovely patterns and things like that with somebody else's stamp, but it will always be somebody else's piece, won't it, really? Whereas I like these. And I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you can see and tell that I am enjoying this. I particularly like that one. Right, I'm going to leave these to dry. I'm going to show you what I do with these pieces. But in the meantime, you carry on playing, and I'll see you in a moment. I thought I needed to come back to a bit of neon. Let's just put some pink on the top here. And then just mix it up with some yellow. Like that. Just blend them there a little bit. And I'm going to use the ones with the paper clips. Let's just put that on the edge like that. It's going to be fun. I do like this one. This is I thought this would be a little bit too fragile, but it's actually okay. Let's put that there. A bit of copy of paper again. Let's put that across there. Oh, I'm liking that. Oh, it's just, oh, hours of fun. Hours of fun. So, how are you getting on? Have you stopped it? I know that some of you, because you've told me this before, watch my tutorials all the way through, and then they watch it again and stop, and then do their own thing on the way. I love that. I love that. Let me know, how do you do it? What do you like to do? Do you like to just sort of follow along So sort of stopping and pausing, doing your own thing, and then coming back. What do you like to do? I'm going to try something out. This is foam. Again, it's stuck quite hard down. And that's going to create the sort of more angular shape, which I like. Where's my, oh, there we go, this one. I like this one as well, the cocktail sticks. I liked those. Just going to pop a few on there. So we get a bit of rice paper. It's very thin. You know, you could use tissue paper, wrapping paper, anything that you've got really. Just try it. Yeah, I like that. It's some very subtle textures with a very unsubtle colour. Just put that there. Pull out that one as well. Lovely. Right, I'm going to leave all of these to dry. I'm going to stop playing. I don't get distracted by playing for any more because I need to finish this video. And then I will show you what I do with these in the next bit. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these plates and now I'm going to paint them. Just because I really like them. I'm going to paint them sort of slightly different ways, each one, and they will become little pieces in their own right. But again, I like the relief. I like the textures, and obviously I could continue to use these as plates. Let's leave that one to dry. And I might do that for some of them, but others I think I might just have as little experimental pieces in their own right. Now you could do all sorts of things with this sort of technique, and I hope you're kind of getting some ideas and things that you might like to do, odds and ends that you might like to use, and I hope you're getting that kind of what if, because I love that. I love the what if. I'm going to do a few of these. I'm going to play with these a little bit and then leave them to dry. I like how they look when they've got the paint on them. See, they're fun. They are really good fun. So after leaving those all to dry for probably an hour or so, I decided that I would put them into a book as a collage. Now this is a book that I made from odd bits of paper, so the pages are all uneven and different. And so I've put these papers in as a background, and I might do some drawings and illustrations over the top, or I might do some more collage, or use some inspirational quotes as an art journal. And I'm rather pleased with how these turned out. I really like the textures. Some more pages left in the book, but I hope you can see that you can use these papers in so many different ways, and it's a great way to sort of practice your techniques of composition and using colour. And so I've just put a little inspirational quote on there. And with the plates, I decided to use a spray paint, and I've sprayed them a sort of a soft grey. I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do with them, but I really like them. And this, I keep being drawn to this one, but this is interesting as well, isn't it? Look at the different textures on that really come out when it's all just one colour.
I really hope you enjoyed that tutorial and that you've got lots of ideas of what you're going to do to create your colographic prints. Now, I think I'm just going to go down to the beach because the sun is shining and the tide is out and the beach is going to be glorious. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group and you'd like to, then please do that. If you'd like to join the membership, the Open Studio membership, you would be very, very welcome. And the Creative Explorer membership people will have access to my latest course, which is the Successful Artist Bootcamp. And depending on when you are watching this, it is open from August 2024, and you'll be very welcome to join that too. And if you want to watch more, you could have a look at this one or this one. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.